Tonight, the search for safety.
Right away, your body, your mind go on survival mode.
How Canadians are finding safe harbor.
Iran is the preeminent terrorist regime in the world.
As the war between Israel and Iran shows no signs of abating. Plus, remission relief.
Nothing stops Ethan.
The Chatham family breathing easier after a 2-year cancer journey for a young teen battling a rare form of leukemia. And Big Box Edition.
Gotta wait until the right time to say who and when.
Could Windsor be closer to landing a second Costco?
CTV News with Stephanie Mazzotti.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Stephanie is off. I'm Ricardo, Veneza. We begin tonight with an incredible recovery for a Chatham teen struggling with a 2-year cancer battle. 17-year-old Ethan Hunter is now packing his bag, getting ready to return home after surviving the ordeal. Our Chris Campbell is joining us now with his story. Chris, this is great news for not only him, but of course his family as well.
Absolutely, Ricardo. Emotions are high, and there's a flurry of activity going on at the Hunter residence where they are ripping up carpet and getting ready to welcome Ethan home. The teen has spent much of the last 2 years in hospitals battling a rare form of T-cell leukemia. Inside the Hunter family home, there's a buzz of anticipation and activity as carpets get pulled and new floors put in to prepare Ethan's room. The family is making sure every surface is ready for his return.
Ethan has been a brave, brave boy. Now, fighting, I believe, was my job. Ethan's journey was just not to give up.
Ethan was diagnosed with lymphoblastic lymphoma T-cell leukemia at just 14 years old. He went into remission only to suffer a rare relapse that led to intensive chemotherapy, oxygen support, a stem cell transplant, and a trial drug at Sick Kids Hospital. At the time, doctors feared Ethan had just 6 weeks to live, but thanks to swabbing events, a stem cell match was found. Now, his mom, Shara Hunter, says Ethan's condition has improved enough for him to leave the hospital, even though he remains immunocompromised. That's why these renovations are so important.
Next, we'll be installing the baseboards and then just a nice little general clean and get the room back together.
The only thing that really got me through are friends, family, and my son. If he could do that, I can do anything. He kept me going.
The Hunters say the journey isn't over. Doctors told them Ethan's the first person in the world to have success with a trial drug for his particular form of cancer.
He's defied the odds many times in the last 10 months. This shouldn't have happened, but it did. Ethan is a superhuman, and we are going to celebrate that. Ethan is saving many children after him going through the pain and suffering. So we're going to celebrate that.
For now, Ethan's return home marks a powerful milestone in a story of strength, prayer, science, and love.
Ethan rocked it. Ethan, nothing stops Ethan.
Hunter hopes as many people as possible can be there to surprise and welcome Ethan home.
We're going to set up chairs here, and we're going to have a potluck and celebrate and talk and enjoy all the birthdays and Easter and Christmases that Ethan got to miss.
Shara Hunter tells me she expects Ethan home in the next week or two, but in the meantime, she says she's just thrilled to know he's coming home after such a long and tumultuous cancer journey. Ricardo?
Yeah, Chris, a great story there. Great to see that he's actually heading back home. That's CTV's Chris Campbell tonight. Well, let's turn now to the forecast, where we're getting ready for an extended, or at least a very extreme heat wave on the way for Windsor, Essex. Gary Archibald joining us for a look at this from the top of the Bell Building tonight. Gary, we're getting ready for some potentially record high temperatures.
Yes, you're right about that. Good evening, Ricardo. Good evening, folks. Heat warnings in place right now. Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Canton, the surrounds. It's likely that temperatures will be somewhere between 5 and 8 degrees above seasonal. Factor in the humidity, of course. We've seen some showers and thunderstorms, and the humidity is going to make it feel like the upper 30s to perhaps the mid-40s over the next 6, maybe 7 days straight. So the heat warning in place. Scattered showers, very light drizzle through the early evening stage tonight, and more of the same through the overnight. I think tomorrow will be mostly cloudy to start with a chance of a shower and maybe even the thunderstorm both in the morning and again with daytime heating being the trigger in the afternoon. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, likely sunny and hot and humid. We'll talk more about it just ahead.
Okay, Gary, thank you for that. Yeah, active weather. The name of the game this week in Windsor, Essex. Well, a Lakeshore teen will learn his fate in October after a sentencing hearing for a youth homicide wrapped in Superior Court. Now, a warning to our more sensitive viewers, the content of this next story can be upsetting. Our Michelle Molesky has been covering this story for us this week, and she joins me now with the very latest. Michelle.
Yes, Ricardo, a Windsor judge has to decide if an 18-year-old should be sentenced as an adult for something he did when he was 16. Until that is decided, we cannot identify the accused or report on any evidence that might identify him. Again, this is a difficult story to hear. An 18-year-old from Lakeshore previously pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. He killed his younger 12-year-old brother at their home in April 2023. Court learned he repeatedly struck his brother with a baseball bat and to this day cannot and will not say why. The court was lenient this week in how they allowed their parents to address the court as victims. The parents crafted a letter to their son who died. Your short life was the highlight of ours. From the moment you were born, you brought love, laughter, and meaning to our lives. The letter then switches and speaks about their son, who they are supporting through the court process. I hope you can understand that by continuing to support the accused, it does not mean that we don't hold him accountable for what he did. The court has learned the accused initially wouldn't speak with his family, but over time that has changed. He now allows them to visit him at the youth facility where he is currently incarcerated. The Crown wants the accused sentenced as an adult so he can get counseling for mental health over a longer period of time that would also give him parole rules for the rest of his life. The defense believes the youth system is best equipped to continue with and execute the plan and comprehensive therapy he needs. Even if the accused is sentenced as an adult, the Crown wants him to first stay in a youth facility, then a provincial jail, and ultimately the federal system, wherever the treatment is best. And the Youth Criminal Justice Act stipulates he is automatically eligible to apply for parole in 7 years. Now, if he's sentenced as a youth after 7 years from the date of the offense, the accused will have no oversight. Justice Bruce Thomas will have his decision in October. Ricardo?
Okay, Michelle Molesky tonight. Thank you for that. Well, as conflict in the Middle East escalates, the rush to escape is growing more frantic. Canada is providing some guidance to help Canadians caught in the middle find safe routes out of that war zone. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
Sirens sound over Jerusalem as Iran and Israel trade fresh attacks for the 8th consecutive day, as diplomatic efforts to contain the conflict took place in Geneva.
Mr. Minister, how are you, sir?
Iran's foreign minister met with top diplomats from Britain, France, and Germany today, a meeting that ended with no signs of a breakthrough. Asked about it, U.S. President Donald Trump said it will be the Americans, not the Europeans, that solve this conflict, though he seemed to reject Iran's demand for Israel to halt its airstrikes in order for talks to resume.
I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's winning, it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing.
Trump says he will decide within the next 2 weeks whether the United States will join this conflict and provide Israel with the bunker-busting bomb it needs to hit Iran's nuclear site Fordo, which is buried deep in a mountain.
If they launch that bunker buster, now we got United States, in a war with Israel, fighting against a power that called Iran that wants to have a nuclear capability. It could then potentially draw in Russia. It could, raise the dander of China. So, this would change the political calculus tremendously, and I don't think anybody wants that to happen.
Global Affairs Canada says it's organizing flights in neighboring countries, urging Canadians in Israel and Iran to head to Jordan, Turkey, and Armenia. Hi, Hossein. Hossein Hodabash is among the many trying to leave Iran. He's not Canadian, but has lived in Toronto since 2019 and has a valid work permit. He was in Iran to visit his sick mum, but when he tried to leave, he discovered his temporary resident visa is expired, and he can't get back into Canada until a new one arrives.
When the war happened, it was like just a nightmare. I don't know about the future. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Airspace above both Israel and Iran is closed, and while Canada has an embassy in Israel, it has had no diplomatic ties with Iran since 2012, further complicating efforts to get Canadians out of the country. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
It is a scary situation. A young Windsor man trapped in Tel Aviv, meantime, is getting closer to getting out after much back and forth with the Canadian government. His mother now speaking with CTV News in her desperation for help to bring him home.
Right away, your body, your mind go on survival mode and you say, I want my child out of there as soon as possible.
21-year-old Paniotis Mavridis traveled to Israel earlier this month for a hockey program, but soon found himself sheltering from missile threats and explosions. His mother, Vasi Talampasi, has been working tirelessly to get him out after they say Canadian officials said they could not be counted on for evacuations. She says her son now has the paperwork from Global Affairs Canada to get out, but they don't know when that will happen. And she says the response has been frustrating.
I'm kind of disappointed, to tell you the truth. And I believe like every parent will feel the same. I'm trying to think logically and say, okay, why Canada is doing that? Is any reason? Is the safety? Is like they want to make a plan and then go in? I don't know. I can only talk to you as a mother.
Well, back in Windsor, land that has sat dormant for years is about to be transformed. A deal has been struck to develop a large commercial plot in the East End, and our Bob Belichico is on hand to give us the very latest. Bob.
Hey, Ricardo. Yeah, there was some work being done here, as you can see, on this plot of land behind the Home Depot on the East End today. I'm told that if the weather is nice next week, activity will ramp up with work being done on roads and ponds. Prepping is underway to get this property ready to be transformed into the new home of a major retailer.
You got to wait until the right time to say who and when.
Costco has been the long-rumored retailer expected to be part of this new development on the city's East End, but no confirmation from the company, the city, or developer Rocco Tullio and Rock Development.
The tenants, they make their own timelines and decisions as to when they want to make the announcements.
Tullio says the retailers he's been talking to will enhance the area and attract people from surrounding municipalities. Once the project is complete, Tullio says there will be room at the back end of the 33-acre property for additional tenants.
It's just going to jumpstart this whole development, which is going to be great for the city of Windsor and people out in the East End.
Roads are being created on the east and west side of the property, and with them, Tullio says, comes the opportunity for the surrounding area to be developed.
The Serbian lands have 10 acres. The Paps have lands. There's other people from Toronto that own land. So when it's all developed, there's about 90 acres. You're talking about 1 million square feet, maybe 1.2 million in square feet.
We're going to have something similar to the Walker Road corridor, I think, with many, many big box stores, lots of action, which should create lots of growth, lots of density, and lots of taxes towards the city of Windsor.
Tullio says national retailers have shown significant interest in this area of Windsor.
Now that the construction has started, these nationals know that, hey, the city's open for business. This is a great node to be part of. And, I'm excited to see what the future holds for this development.
Now, Tullio expects roads and construction to be done by the end of the year. Will it be a Costco? That remains to be seen. But Ricardo, do know that I grinded. I tried really hard, but nobody would bend. So I guess we're just going to have to stay tuned. Back over to you.
No Costco confirmation. Okay, Bob, good try. Appreciate that. That's CTV's Bob Belichico tonight. Road construction at Walker and Tecumseh Roads is going slower than expected. The complete rehab up Tecumseh Road eastbound was initially expected to last 8 to 12 weeks and wrap up at the end of May. Well, it is into June, and that completion date is being pushed back a second time, this time into August. NWIN tells our sister station AM 800 additional work has been identified that is needed to ensure long-term durability of the road. That work is being done now while traffic controls are already in place. Well, that brings us to our question of the day. We want to know, are you frustrated with the amount of road construction that's happening in Windsor, Essex? You can go to our website to cast your vote. That's ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you are guilty of distracted driving. Of nearly 600 responses, 81% say no, they are not. Well, more than 1,500 City of Windsor employees are voting on a tentative contract today. QP Local 543, representing inside workers, and the city reached a tentative 4-year deal last week. Voting was set for 2 and 6 this afternoon and evening. We'll bring you the results once they are available. Well, we have more tonight on the timing of a tornado warning sent out in the middle of the night a couple of weeks ago now. As CTV's Travis Fortnum reports, residents in Essex have raised concerns, and the town wants an explanation and potentially some solutions.
A little after midnight on June 5th, phones across Windsor, Essex lit up, alerting residents to a tornado warning. The thing is, at least many living in Essex, were already awake because of the severe storm that had already blown through. Was the alert too late?
Really, one of the hardest things as a forecaster is dealing with tornadoes and tornado warnings.
Northern Tornadoes Project Director David Sills says his team grades Environment Canada on their tornado warnings annually. But while the science of sending them out has improved, it's still not exact.
The target lead time for a tornado warning is only 10 minutes. So that's not a lot of time to get a warning out and to get it to people and for them to act on it.
Just looking to see what Environment Canada does.
The town of Essex last week requested an explanation from Environment Canada on their process and how it can better serve and protect area residents. CTV News reached out to the agency too. In a statement, a spokesperson explained the closest radar is in Exeter, near Grand Bend, supported by stateside radars. They say while their system is down to a science, it can always be improved, saying Environment and Climate Change Canada is continually enhancing its weather services, taking full advantage of the latest technology to upgrade the tools used to predict and relay information about the weather to Canadians. Essex Mayor Sherry Bondi says the town hasn't heard from the agency yet.
But I've heard back from residents that they need to do more.
Bondi is looking forward to more than a statement. She wants discussion and maybe a new radar closer than Exeter.
And maybe there's a relationship where in Essex we offer some municipal property for them to use to put more infrastructure.
Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
Health Unit beachwater testing shows swimmers should avoid 2 local beaches this week. Holiday Beach in Amherstburg and Cedar Beach in Kingsville have E. coli levels the Health Unit says may pose a health risk. All other beaches in Essex County are open and safe for swimming, except for Sandpoint Beach, of course, out in East Windsor, which has been permanently closed and fenced off for safety. Still ahead on Windsor's news leader, pain at the pump. What is pushing gas prices through the roof? And fighting cancer takes real bravery. Now the community is being asked to show theirs. How you can step up later in the show. And Monday, a 6-year-old with a lemonade stand, a joke booth, and a heart full of hope, raising money for his grandpa's life-saving surgery. That's Monday on CTV News at 6. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. A W5 investigation is revealing what could be a much bigger payday for car thieves. More than just the stolen cars, there are also bogus insurance claims. And as CTV's John Woodward reports, it's driving up drivers' premiums.
This Ferrari was insured as a $1 million car, a top-end 599 GTO. At least that's what the owner claimed it was.
But that's not what it is.
That's not what it is. Enter Stefan Nasner, an investigator with Aviva Insurance's fraud unit. And slowly, that car's image falls apart. The dashboard in disrepair. The display lights up with a different model number. And under the hood, the engine bears the mark of a different Ferrari.
You can clearly see this is a 599 GTB.
Not GTO.
Not GTO. Okay. And a GTB is a lot less valuable than a GTO.
Disguised, Nasner believes, as part of an elaborate insurance fraud. And this isn't the first time he's seen this car. Aviva has already paid out a claim on this Ferrari once before.
So you guys could have lost twice.
We could have lost twice. And had we paid out on what it was registered for, it would have been over $1 million.
Over $1 million of money that would have gone to possibly organized criminals.
Correct.
An audacious example of how car thieves attempt to turn the value of one stolen car into many insurance payouts, multiplying the value of what they stole. Key to this disguise is spoofing the unique vehicle identification number, or VIN, on the car. In this case, the thieves appear to have lifted the fake vehicle identification number from this real Ferrari GTO on sale across the border in Detroit. A number that, according to its Carfax service records, also appears on cars serviced in Montana and Texas, suggesting there are many more disguised vehicles using this VIN.
It's being serviced all over the place. How does that make sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because a vehicle can't be in multiple places at once. If it is, it's probably a scam. And those vehicle identification numbers are fakes. Tracking those VINs is now a huge part of Aviva's fraud detection program, says Mike Cardillo, Aviva's manager of national investigations.
So we're talking millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
VIN fraud up 300% in the last few years, according to his numbers. Selling stolen cars locally has become more important for thieves, he says, as a government crackdown has made it harder to sell them overseas.
There we go.
One major challenge, somehow many fake numbers are legitimately registered with provincial government agencies anyway.
We need to make sure that we're doing our due diligence when a vehicle is being registered, close those loopholes in the ministry to make sure that some of these false VINs aren't being registered.
Solving that problem, a crucial part of stopping that VIN from disguising yet another stolen car, though most aren't as flashy as this Ferrari. John Woodward, CTV News.
Well, it's not just drivers' insurance premiums going up. Diesel and gasoline prices are climbing as well, and some of the price increases are a little bit alarming. Growing tensions in the Middle East are behind the rise at the pump. The cost of diesel fuel has jumped more than 6 cents per liter in Nova Scotia. Several days earlier, prices climbed by more than 7 cents in New Brunswick. According to petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan, these jarring increases are happening right across the country and around North America even, and more hikes are expected. Gas prices are also climbing this week, an eye-popping 17 cents a liter in Northern Ontario, with a national average increase of 5.7 cents. The ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel continues to cause market instability, which is affecting supply and demand for oil. WestJet says a cyber attack that began last week remains unresolved as questions linger about the nature and the fallout of the breach. The country's second largest airline says it's working to assess whether sensitive data or customers' personal information was compromised after hackers accessed its internal systems. An online advisory says the attack has not affected operations, but that some customers may run into intermittent interruptions or errors on WestJet's website and app. Airlines and airports have become increasingly popular prey for hackers, as they are troves of personal and financial data, as well as their global reach, making them a high-value target. Well, a new study is offering a stern warning to drivers about the near-miss collisions happening every day on roads across this country. 1 in every 500 cyclists and 770 pedestrians are almost hit by a car, according to a new study by CAA. They watched 20 intersections over 7 months using cameras and AI. Most of those near misses involve vehicles making a right turn. CAA says these are accidents waiting to happen and is urging municipalities to make intersections safer by creating more dedicated turn lanes and letting pedestrians cross first at traffic lights. Well, the new Canada Strong Pass is now in effect. As of today, young Canadians can get free tickets and discounts at participating museums, national parks, as well as via rail. Registration is not necessary. The discount is automatically applied by showing up at the tourism site or going online for reservations. The Liberal government announced the initiative this month, saying it's meant to help boost domestic tourism and Canadian pride. It's in the name. It's in effect until September 2nd. Canada's main stock index losing steam throughout the trading day to close lower. As you can see there, down 8 points. The Dow and NASDAQ reopening after Juneteenth celebrations. The Dow up 35 points. The NASDAQ sliding 98. The Canadian dollar down again today to rest at 72.84 cents U.S. Gold down more than $22 an ounce, while oil is up 34 cents a barrel. Breathing breakthrough coming up, a new asthma drug for sinus growths that make it hard to breathe, sleep, and even eat.
Let's take a look at this great shot. A family of deer out in the warmth, getting some shade in the forest. We'll need shade for the weekend. Thanks to Frank Carpala for our CTV News weather snapshot. We'll talk heat warning coming up next on CTV News Windsor.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app. From moment to moment, things change. CTVNewsWindsor.ca is Windsor's #1 source for online news. Watch every story from wherever you are, the moment it happens. CTVNewsWindsor.ca.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining us now for an extended look at the forecast. Gary, I think that's indicative of what we dealt with today. Fairly overcast, cooler, but still very muggy.
And we had some scattered showers through the overnight, even some thunderstorm activity. Thunderstorm last night. Good for the lawns, the gardens, for growers in the area. Today was seasonal, what we would expect in terms of a daytime high, 26 degrees, average 26, even the low in that 15-degree range. But it's felt warmer because of the humidity, obviously. We've cooled off a touch with a relatively weak cold front pushing through. 23 degrees in Chatham-Kent. Similar sky conditions. That's 73 Fahrenheit, 24 at the airport, or 75 in Windsor. It feels like 32 in Windsor. Your humidex value, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. Chatham-Kent, about 31. The winds out of the west-southwest haven't provided a great deal of comfort, but there's some relief from the heat and humidity combined, so that 30s feels comfortable enough, especially if you're closer to the north shores of Lake Erie, along the shores of Lake St. Clair, of course. Really getting warm across the U.S. Central Plains, and we are tapping into some of that heat. Rapid City, goodness gracious, 39, feeling like about 47. So that heat from the U.S. Central Plains is headed our way with jet stream support. It's going to inundate our region for the weekend and beyond. Yes, there's still some scattered showers in the vicinity. The worst weather will pass to the north and east of us over the next 18 to 24 hours. So it's not a rain story. This is about really the heat and humidity. If we do see rain, it will be light across southwestern Ontario, again heavier to the north and northeast of us here in Windsor, Essex, Chatham-Kent, and the surrounds. So gear up for a warm night. Even by midnight, the temperatures hovering around 22, maybe 21 degrees Celsius, feeling like about 28. Tomorrow, afternoon thunderstorm with a high of 32, feeling like about 42. Wow. And we're in that heat warning, meaning to try to stay cool, stay hydrated, watch out for all of our friends, including our furry four-legged ones. Sunday, 35 could feel like 43. Monday, 36. Tuesday, 36. Both sunny but hot. Could feel like 45. And then some showers moving in, still warm Wednesday, 30s and 30s for Thursday and Friday. All of these temperatures above seasonal, so do take care.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
Yeah, the heat is on the way. Gary, thank you for that. Well, the city of Windsor is opening splash pads to help residents stay safe and cool during that upcoming heat wave. Splash pads will be open daily from 8 to 8, but city pools will remain closed until the end of the month. City libraries and customer care centers, though, will also be open to provide more cooling spaces for residents to escape the heat. And the Homelessness and Housing Help Hub will be open 24 hours a day as well. Well, Daredevils are set for a big fundraiser tomorrow that could use an extra push to get over the top.
Okay. Feel like Spider-Man.
That, of course, is our former reporter Rich Garton going down. Show Us Your Brave event goes tomorrow all day at the CIBC building in downtown Windsor, of course, in support of cancer care in the region. AM800's Meg Roberts is among those set to scale the tower and take that slow journey down to the ground. Many take part in memory and tribute to family and loved ones. Fundraising efforts are nearing the $75,000 goal as well. Well, Canadian health officials are recommending a new treatment for a condition causing breathing troubles, facial pain, and sleep disruption. Until recently, the main treatment involved steroids, which came with several unpleasant side effects. CTV's Pauline Chan has more on the alternatives.
As a child, Renee Lambert recalls having trouble blowing out birthday candles.
I also had problems blowing up balloons, and I never thought about it being asthma.
As an adult, she was diagnosed with asthma and also nasal polyps, benign growths in her sinuses that cause difficulty breathing, sleeping, and even eating. The condition is known as chronic rhinosinusitis with nasal polyps.
So asthma and nasal polyps oftentimes will coexist, so about 40% of the patients with polyps will have asthma.
I was getting migraines, which I never have. And there were a couple of times where my eye blew up as if someone hit me with a baseball bat. And I just couldn't live like this anymore.
Treatment generally includes steroids, both topical and oral, and/or surgery. Renee had surgery, but the polyps returned. Her doctors recommended the common steroid prednisone, but she was concerned about side effects.
Short term, you can have mood disturbances. You can actually have high blood pressure, bumps your blood pressure up. It changes your blood sugar as well. And it also can cause a hip fracture.
It can also cause weight gain, cardiovascular problems, osteoporosis, and diabetes. In fact, a recent study showed 40% of rhinosinusitis patients with polyps face overexposure to oral corticosteroids.
The survey was done by GlaxoSmithKline in conjunction with Asthma Canada.
Dr. Yvonne Chan says newer biologic drugs, available over the past 4 years, offer a safer alternative.
It changes the lining in the nose and the sinuses. What it does is it repairs some of the dysfunction in the lining.
Dr. Chan and Renee both call it a game changer, and they're hoping more patients and physicians will learn more about this option for treating nasal polyps. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A new study shows restrictions and all-out bans on plastic bags are making a difference. Researchers looked at 180 areas that have bans on plastic bags or at least fees on them. Then they analyzed data from more than 45,000 shoreline cleanups. They found that areas with restrictions on bags saw a 25 to 47% decrease in plastic bag litter. The study is published in the journal Science. Rumble on the Rooftop coming up on Windsor's News Leader, a new venue and a new live competition for boxing fans.
It's the summer of music. Enter VIP at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a pair of VIP tickets to see Hosier, Mariana's Trench, and more at Rock the Park, Tuesday, July 8th, plus an overnight stay in London.
Well, welcome back. Windsor City Councillor Ronaldo Agostino is looking to punch through the noise and get residents excited about a unique event. The Border City Boxing Club is set to host Rumble on the Rooftop on July 12th. That's on the 3rd floor of the Polisher Street parking garage downtown. It's a free show that will provide boxers and fans an open-air venue with a backdrop of the Windsor-Detroit skyline. That's a pretty view. There will be 12 fights on the card featuring 21-year-old national champion Rosalind Canty, who is on a journey to qualify for the Olympics.
coming out of COVID, where we got some fighters that are now open class, looking to become open class fighters. 9-0, 11-0, Aliota and Cheded, respectively, as well as our national champion Rosalind. We just want to showcase the kids in the area. We're hoping to get other local fighters from Blue Collar and from Windsor Boxing Club on as well.
A Windsor Essex nonprofit is calling attention to a concerning trend. Girls are leaving organized sport at twice the rate of boys by age 14. Counter in Sports says the reasons range from poor coaching and body image pressures to financial barriers and a lack of female role models. And the group says the impact goes far beyond the field, costing girls confidence, opportunity, and leadership development. The organization is stepping in, funding programs, equipment, and mentorship to help try and keep girls in the game. They're looking for people to donate or sponsor a team, attend local fundraising events, or to volunteer or coach girls' sports. Well, we have a new gardening segment that started last week, and Gary Archibald is joining us now to explain a little bit about what's going on here. Gary, you're out in the community and practicing your green thumb techniques.
That is correct, Ricardo. This is a weekly dose of dirt, sunshine, and green thumb advice. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or planting your first seed, we dig into topics suggested by our viewers to help your garden thrive. This week, we look at Japanese maples. Sandy McDonald. So get gardening with Japanese maples. What can you tell us about their care?
Absolutely. Well, treat them well. That's all I can say. Is really almost all the things that apply to good garden plants apply to Japanese maples as well. Evenly moist soils, not in heavy clay. They don't like to be planted too deeply. They don't like wet soils. They don't really like dry soils either. So evenly moist at all times. We have mulch at the base of this one too, which is an excellent idea. That helps to keep the soil moist and cool and reduces weeds. That's very helpful. If it's warm and dry in summer, always make sure you give Japanese maples a good amount of water, especially if it's dry. 1 or 2 good soakings every week is an excellent idea. A bit of a protected spot is also good if possible. This one's a little bit exposed. There might be a little bit of foliage damage on it. Still, not a disease or insect problem, just a little bit of exposure. And in really exposed sites, it may need a burlap wrap. Using some burlap to wrap it up, maybe for its first couple of winters. Also a very good idea, that protection for the first couple of winters. We can sometimes have dieback. Some of the foliage or branches will die back in our severe winters. Generally, the plant can recuperate from that, so we always wait for the new foliage to come out after a particularly cold winter, and we can usually get new foliage, and it'll be off to the races again with it.
Japanese maples, beautiful. Sandy, thank you so much for giving us the expertise. I've lost too many. It's going to make me cry, but that's why we talk to this man. Join us, of course, each week as we look more into growing and keeping things green here on Get Gardening. I've lost 3 Japanese maples in the last little while. Not so great. Now, this is a weekly segment. If you have a gardening question you'd like answered or a beautiful backyard you think deserves to be featured, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, fantastic stuff there, Gary. I know a lot of people in the region have those Japanese maples, my mom being one of them, so hopefully they got some good tips there.
That's right. Text us at 10400 and we'll respond, of course.
Of course, you can bring your gardening suggestions there, and you could be our next spotlight.
I like it. Unscripted, unpredictable, and unapologetic. Wake up with Hannah and Johnny on 93.9 Virgin Radio.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Tour the world without leaving the region. Carousel of the Nations is back for its 50th year, June 20th to the 22nd. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. Melanie, you have an update on a situation where police shot and killed a dog yesterday out in the West End.
That's right. The call started around 2 p.m. yesterday with a person in crisis in the area of Huron Church and Tecumseh. Police say a man physically assaulted an officer and threatened to kill another. A taser was needed to gain control. Police say the man then told his pit bull mixed dog to bite, and it lunged at the officers. Non-lethal efforts were unsuccessful. Officers then shot the dog. A 45-year-old man was arrested and faces a number of charges. We've got those details online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Okay, Melanie, thank you for that update. We've also got a list online for anyone looking for maybe something to do this weekend.
Yes, the first weekend of summer is going to be a busy one. From the second and final weekend of Carousel of Nations to Amherstburg Rib Fest and a summer solstice event. We've posted a full list of all the things happening according to Tourism Windsor Essex Pelee Island. And if you have an event to add or would like to send us photos from an event you attended, email us at ctvwindsorweb@bellmedia.ca. And you might see it on our website. And in our social spotlight, a supercharged football throw. Wow, that really took off, but I wouldn't recommend trying this since in Ontario, it's illegal to throw things at wind turbines, and you would probably never see your football again, Ricardo.
Yeah, Melanie, a good note there. I think it's good. I don't know where the uprights are, but I think that made it.
I think so. It went a long way.
Yeah, I think there are easier ways to get a spiral than throwing the ball at a turbine. Yeah, well, there we go. Mel, thanks so much for that. That's a look at what's happening now. Well, guess who just made this playlist when we return? Drake name drops Waterloo.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
All right, still a little damp out there, Gary, as we take a final check of the forecast. I mean, it was muggy today, and we're talking about really this stupid heat that we got coming our way, and dangerous as well.
That's right. Heat warnings in place, and it looks like this weekend into, well, next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we are talking 30s, feeling like upper 30s, maybe 40 to 45, and that's your humidex value. But our average temperature for this time of the year is 26, so we're well above seasonal. Saturday, very much so. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, high UV rating for Sunday, Monday. And yes, we'll see some showers possibly tomorrow morning, again in the afternoon, light thunderstorm activity, but it's really about the heat. And the warnings are going to be extended. So we're in it now. We'll see it through, certainly to begin next week.
Yeah, when you see the board there that it's going to feel like 40, that's when it really becomes very concerning. Okay, that's Gary, thank you for that. Yeah. Well, finally for us folks, tonight he's well known, of course, for his love of Toronto and referencing the GTA in his songs, which are some of the most streamed and listened to worldwide. But now Grammy-winning artist Drake is giving Waterloo a lyrical nod.
Like lava, yeah. Little Waterloo road trip, shorty see me and say.
Drake and Toronto rapper Smiley released a new track titled Too Mazza. That means too crazy in Toronto slang. They got their whole own language up there. And Waterloo's mayor is welcoming the shout out and taking it one step further, inviting Drake for a personal tour of the city and its housing options as well.
If Drake and his family want to come, I'd be happy to give him a tour of our neighborhoods.
Draketoberfest maybe has a good ring to it, but getting the music megastar in some lederhosen maybe will take some convincing there. Although he could tap the keg there, that'd be fun. Drake does reference other cities in that song, of course, as well.
I'm in Barrie, Muskoka, and Brampton.
I think all of this is part of a larger move by Drake to recapture and retool his reputation, and particularly his reputation in relation to Canada.
No Windsor in the song, Gary.
But being from Toronto, Too Mazza?
Is it Mazza?
I don't know.
I got to start hanging out in these circles.
Thing, right? Not just geographic location. But it's great that he's giving a shout out. And I think that Canada identity very important to him. He's seeing that. We're seeing that through with.
He certainly is representing Canada on a global stage. I will say, you know, for all the time I spent in Kitchener, Waterloo, Dorothy, Mayor of Waterloo, never offered me a special tour of water. Are you saying Drake's got more pool than me?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
And me too, but you gotta be honest.
No, that's fair.
For updates throughout the evening, go to CTV News, Windsor.ca.
There you go. That is our time, folks. I'm Ricardo Veneza. For everyone here at CTV on both sides of the camera, have a good night. I'll see you again at 11.
Stay cool. And also...